The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Almoaidi, so happy to have got you in our office.
Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you. Could you be so kind to tell me where and when the idea of Georgia has been created in Bahrain?
No, actually the idea is new because in the last, after the corona, there was a lot of losses in the hotel industry, and the opportunity comes to get new assets to manage, which is came to Mr. Bouzizi, who is our director and also in charge of business development, had a meeting with
Local
representative here, and I think they offered to see the hotel that Mr. Nadari has, which is attached to an aqua park, which created a lot of interest.
Okay, very good. Mr. Bouzizi told us a lot and about his period while he was a CEO in Bahrain.
He is a stalwart of the hotel business because he was the first Bahraini to manage a big hotel. Yeah.
Okay.
So he was, sorry, you have to cut this off.
Yes.
He was really sent by the Gulf Hotel during, God rest his soul, our chairman, Mr. Ahmed Kano. He said, why don't we develop Bahraini people? So we made a program and we sent 7 trainees to Switzerland for training for 2 years. They all came back and took
their
positions in management after training in the hotel. And Mr. Bouzizi was chosen as the first Bahraini to manage a big hotel in Bahrain.
That was the idea how the Gulf Hotel Group was created, am I right?
No, the Gulf Hotel was created before this. The Gulf Hotel was created between Gulf Air, which was then called Gulf Aviation, and a group of Bahraini businessmen, Yatim, Faruk Almoaidi, and that is how it developed at the beginning, because Gulf Air was booming then, and it was owned by 4 countries. So it was the only airline in the Gulf then. So in '67, they decided to have a luxury hotel in Bahrain, which is its headquarters.
The existing one.
And that is how the Gulf Hotel came to be born.
But now you are already thinking about the expansion.
Yes.
Expansion.
Actually, we have 4 hotels managed in Bahrain.
Yes.
And we have 1 hotel in Dubai. And we have 1 hotel we are managing in Zanzibar through a group of Gulf investors. So that gives us, and they're all very successful, thank God. So we have the 50-year experience of managing hotels.
Mr. Chairman, at the same time, while expansion, you're looking for other opportunities, as you have mentioned.
Yes.
This has been prevailed and much more exhausted after COVID period when everything was suspended. Could you be so kind to tell me what are the ambitions of the Gulf Hotel Group? I'm talking about business ambitions, of course. What to cover?
We look at every opportunity because even before COVID, we were looking at opportunities in Saudi, in Oman, and you get leads, business leads, and we send our people from management to have a look and talk. And there is a lot, of course, out of 10 you get 1 or 2.
Yeah, sure.
As leads, come from all over the place.
What are the first impressions about Georgia?
Well, I like the country. It has a lot of nice people, which is very important for tourism. And the country has, of course, lots of water and nice weather. And in summer, I believe the weather is very pleasant. So it could be a great opportunity for tourists to come to spend a week or two here if we give them the right package with an airline and stay. And this is the most important thing, that people feel they're traveling in safe hands. And of course, the Gulf Hotel is well known in the Gulf area, so we are safe to travel with us.
Very good.
Of course, a lot of Gulf people used to go to Lebanon and Syria, which are now out of bound, so they'll probably come here.
Good. At the same time, during the conversations, you've touched various times a wider picture about the potential of Georgia becoming a hub of the region due to its location and things like that. Do you see this potential here still?
I think your Georgia airline should be a hub, making Tbilisi a hub for reaching Europe, reaching Africa, because this is what like Turkish airline does all the time. Turkish airline, most people in the Gulf, if they want to go to Africa, they either go to Dubai or they go to Istanbul. If they want to reach Europe, of course, they mostly go to Dubai. So you are very close proximity to Istanbul, and you could be a force in this field. Yani.
Thank you. And also, my pre-last question is about your meetings here. You had the meetings not only with your partners, with whom you already signed the memorandum of understanding and agreement, but also with governmental officials. How all these go, and what are the prominence of your meetings?
Well, every relationship starts with one step. So you have to follow up on these things. And as I say, sometimes 10 contacts produce 2 results or 3 results. So we're hoping, if we have a presence here, to pursue it in other fields, in Georgia. As I said, Bahrain and Georgia are only 2 hours away, 2.5 hours. So it's not really a long distance by plane. So we hope to develop that in the future.
How is Bahrain doing nowadays after COVID period, which touched everybody and all the countries? It doesn't matter countries rich, poor, or middle income.
Well, of course, 2020 was a very bad year because everything was practically closed. It was a shock to the world. But 21 became a much better year, recovering from this shock. And it looks like 22 is even much better because we have really vaccinated maybe 80% of the population.
Very good of you.
So the numbers of cases are declining continuously. And last week, the government of Bahrain and the Ministry of Health released all the restrictions on, conferences, weddings. So I think 22 will be an excellent year of recovery. And the government is well aware and really pushing the private sector to develop more and we are building now in Bahrain the biggest exhibition center in the Middle East. So that will attract a lot of conferences. And of course, the Prime Minister, His Highness Prince Salman, is really developing Bahrain to be a tourist attraction also.
Good luck to Bahrain and to your plans in Georgia as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.